Welcome back. In this video, we are going to connect our Raspberry Pi Pico to a Wi-Fi network, as well as we are going to load a web server on Raspberry Pi Pico, and onboard LED we are going to control through this web server. I have three code here. One is to connect to Wi-Fi network, one is the part of the code that handle the server, and one which calls all that is under the main.py. This is too lengthy code, that's why I'm not going from line to line by typing. I'm just going to explain the code in detail. Let's start with the connect.py. Created a function that do all the tasks required to connect our Raspberry Pi Pico to our Wi-Fi network. Function which I created, that is something called do connect. I just imported pin because I need to indicate that it is connected or not by blinking an LED, onboard LED. So I just imported pin. Deep, we need to access network, imported network. RP2, that is for giving our country. That's better if you are connecting with internet. To garbage collection, GC, just calling those things. Now I need to pass SSID and password. I created a variable called SSID and password. I pass the SSID of my Wi-Fi and its password. Here you have to change with your SSID and password of the Wi-Fi network. Now I created an LED object. I am using onboard LED. Then creating a station object. A station, I created the object and it is a wireless LAN and it's going to be a stationary mode. And we are activating that station object on this particular line. Then I need to connect with the network. This line is to connect with the network. I'm going to continuously check is that connected to the network. Once it is got connected, we will be getting successful connection on the rappel, as well as this line of code will give the IP address of the network that is allocated for Raspberry Pi Pico. Once it is successfully connected, I need to see the onboard LED is blinking for some number of times very fast. So that's why I am using this setup. I hope it is clear, this part. The Raspberry Pi server we need to configure. Here I have multiple functions created. So the main function is web server. Again, we are going to access the onboard LED to control it. Pin is imported and the onboard LED is going to access. Now here we are going to use HTTP request. So we are using socket communication, the method that we are using here. So that I am trying to import socket from the modules available in the Pico. Then we need a web page that is going to load when we are trying to use web server. So there is another function inside the web server is created, that's web page. This is going to return this object HTML. What this HTML will do? This is the website which is written in HTML language. It's a straight one. Those who are good at HTML or basic knowledge, you can easily understand. There is two HTML tag, opening tag and closing tag. Then body tags are there. Then I have created a heading that's to show something. Okay, it's a Pico web server. Then two main things are these two lines. I'm creating a URL here with href. Then what happens? Along with the default IP address, LED equal to on becomes as the extension of the URL. Now to make it better, I am using also a button, and on the button it's going to show like on. That's what happened this line. Same way I need an off button. Again another URL is going to be creating with the default URL plus LED equal to off will be as the suffix. Now the button and the content is written in the button is off. That's all these two lines. These two lines are very important. So this is the entire object which is going to return HTML. You can see it is going to return. I hope this part is clear. Now for the socket communication, I am creating another object called S. We are accessing the socket and passing these two parameters to work the socket communication correct. Once it is activated, so we will be getting something web server is initiated. Now once I tried so many times, I got some OS error on this particular two lines of code, especially this particular line of code when I'm trying to connect. So that's why I used try and accept method. So I am trying that to bind with default URL. Maybe you can give 0.0.0.0. That's for the this case, or you can give it empty, and the port number is 80. 80 means this is an HTTP request, not HTTPS. S becomes secure, so we have to install SSL and all, so that's a little more difficult. So that's why we are going to access the port number 80 in this case, HTTP. Now we can listen up to 5 inputs. If any case it is unable to load this one, then it's accepting as the OS error, and we will get an output like server is not initiated, and it will ask to restart the peak. I hope this part is clear. Now I need to check always, is that connected, is there any input is coming. This is the main part of the code. Input is coming, then what is the request is received, then that request we need to process. That is going to happen under this entire while loop. So first we are accepting any input and going to save the connection as well as the address into these two variables, and in the shell we can just print the address if it is required. The message whatever it is received and which is saved in the connect, that is CNN, then it's going to save into another variable called a request. Whatever the message that is converting into a string format on this particular line, so if you need to print, you can print it, that's up to you. From here it is very important part, the content whatever we received and which is saved in the request in the string format, from that we are trying to find this question mark LED equal to on. Why? Because in our web server, this is the URL when you press the button is going to change. So on the request, we are looking for this particular set of line. If that is available, then it's going to create some number. That number is going to save in the LED underscore on. Most of the case it will be a number 6 or maybe a number 10. So you can use maybe a print option here, like print LED underscore on. You will be able to get what is a value on that particular returned number. So that's why we can able to find it. So mostly that would be 10 or 6. Same way, also going to check if off button is pressed, is there something LED equal to off available. If there, it is also expecting the same 6 or 10. That's going to save in the LED underscore off. Remaining is pretty straight. If the value on the LED on, that is here we received, it's greater than -1, because I said it can be 6 or 10, but I'm roughly going with any values. Okay, that is more than 0 or -1. So here maybe you can directly give equal to 6. If you are getting the result is supposed to be 10, that's also fine. Then that case I need to print that LED on, and I need to make sure that the LED is activated by using LED.value 1. 1 means make it on. But if we are getting the value supposed to be in the off case, we are getting the value, same way I need to make the LED to be off, right? Very easy. Then whenever the input has come, we need to give the response. So the response is the entire web page. This is the entire web page. Okay, so that is going to be the response to the user, and whatever we have connected, we need to give the response and all the set of code. Okay, the connection is secure, whatever it is, and finally we need to close that communication. That's about this set part of the code. Now we need to discuss main.py. So I have done little changes, that's why star is coming. So main.py is calling these all functions one by one in the proper order. I need to use connect, I need to use Pico server, so I imported these two as two modules. From that, two functions only I need to call. So I am saying that from connect I need to use to connect, from Pico server I need to use web server. That part is completed. It's very easy, straight. Now from that we need to use those functions. How? Calling that file, from that particular function we are calling, that's connect.connect. If it is connected, it will be saying that connected to Wi-Fi. Then it will be activating the web server module. Then what will happen? It will be going to call this Pico server.py. So the Pico server.py will be executing. Very straight. So let me run this one and see is that able to load that page. Okay, I'm going to run this code. It's already written main.py. So whenever I disconnect device and connecting it back, automatically this web server will run. But I am going to run this directly from here. My Wi-Fi network is active now. Yes, connection is successful. I got a IP address here. Now you can see connected to Wi-Fi, activating web server module, and web server is initiated. So in case if it is got an error on this particular part, then it will say that server not initiated, restart PICO-W. So in this case, it has happened successfully. I can copy this URL and I can open any browser. So let me open Brave. You can use any browser, Chrome, Chromium, whatever it is. Okay, let me enter. So the web server is loaded. Now you can see the heading, paragraph, and two buttons which has the on and off things are written. Now the default URL is here, the IP address. There is no extensions you can see. Now I am going to press this on button, so the URL also going to change. Okay, now URL also change. Now the onboard LED, you can find it is on right now. I can press off. The URL has changed as well as the LED becomes off now. I can also directly change from here. That also will work. So onboard LED is now on. If I change this URL, it becomes off. This way also it will work. I hope it is clear. See you on the next video.